Hello everybody. Today we'll be discussing pain control mechanism. In the previous two lectures, physiology of pain 1 and physiology of pain 2, we have learned what are the pain receptors, how they get stimulated, what is the pathway of pain sensation, different types of pain, mainly somatic pain, visceral pain and projected pain. And in visceral pain especially, we have learned in the last lecture what is the referred pain, what is the mechanism of explanation of referred pain. Mainly first dermatomal theory was there, and second is convergence projection theory. So this we have completed in the last two lectures. Now let's move forward and see what are the body's pain control mechanism, and if you are giving any medicine from outside, how it is going to work, or if you are doing any intervention, how it is going to work on that one. So let's start with our pathway of our spinothalamic tract. First order neuron here, which is ending in the spinal cord. Second order neuron starting from the spinal cord, terminating in the thalamus. And third order neuron starting from the thalamus and terminating in our cerebral cortex. So it is a spinothalamic tract, also called as ventrolateral spinothalamic tract. See, from this pain fiber stimulation comes, it generates action potential in the second order neuron, which will travel to the thalamus. Now this will generate action potential in the third order neuron and will reach the cortex. Once impulse reaches the thalamus, there is a perception of pain, and once it reaches the cortex, there is a localization of pain. Now, if you just recall the dermatomal rule, each segment of spinal cord receives multiple nerve fibers from same segment carrying different sensations. Again, if you recall Leberland principle of sensation, each sensation is carried by a separate nerve. Means for touch, we are having a separate nerve. For pain, we are having a separate nerve fibers are there. Now, this is the nerve fiber for the touch sensation arising from the superficial area of the skin. It has got a separate pathway going up to the cortex. Now, if you give stimulation to this touch fiber, if you stimulate this A delta fiber located on the skin, see what happens. They will generate action potential, it will go up to this. Now it will give one presynaptic fibers to the pain fibers also. Now here what happens, now this will lead to inhibition at this level. Okay. So when this pain fiber is stimulating, now it gets blocked. So this is called as a gate. For example, if two persons are trying to enter from a single gate where it is for one only, one will dominate. Who will dominate? Who is the fastest? Now here what happens, this is the touch fiber which is fastest comes, and here it creates a block. So we can utilize this to control the pain. So this is called as a gate theory of pain. So at this gate, both nerve fibers are ending and they are trying to move, but one which reaches the early will lead to a presynaptic inhibition of other. So this touch fiber will lead to inhibition of the pain fibers, and what happens, there is no generation of action potential in the second order neuron. So it will not reach the thalamus, it will not reach the cortex from here because there is no stimulation further. So this is called as a gate theory of pain. It is called as a modulation of pain transmission. Now this mechanism is utilized by our different techniques. So here you can have a close look at this dorsal horn. This is the one of the pain fiber. This is the fiber coming from the touch sensation. We can see in this routinely pain fiber stimulation, there is a release of neurotransmitters and generation of excited postsynaptic potential here. Now see in this kit what happens now. This is the signals from the presynaptic neuron is coming. It is now leading to release of the neurotransmitters here. which are released. Now this will, what happen? But there is inhibitory postsynaptic potential generated because of this presynaptic inhibition. So because of this, what happens? There is no further action of this on here. So it will not be able to stimulate postsynaptic terminal of the pain fiber. So because of this, there creates a block. So this is the basically gate, that is a dorsal horn. So dorsal horn is acting as a gate which we can utilize to block the pain sensation. So just recall routinely, if you just remember, if you get an injury to one of the body, usually our old age people or experienced, what they do, they rub and shake that part. So rubbing, shaking an injured area decreases pain due to an injury. The activation of cutaneous mechanicosensitive afferent may reduce the responsiveness of dorsal horn neuron to their input from nociceptive afferent terminals. So when you are rubbing one part of the body near the injured area, what is happening? You are stimulating the touch and pressure fibers. Now they are stimulated, impulse will travel along the touch fiber, and this will give presynaptic inhibition to the nociceptive fibers. So this may explain why transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation can effective for pain relief. If you stimulate the skin near the pain area, so this method uses electrodes to activate A-alpha, A-beta fibers in the vicinity of injury. So here you can see, if you are giving stimulation here by transcutaneous fibers or rubbing this area, or nowadays chemicals we are using to relieve the pain gels are there. Now what these pain gels are there? They are simply counter irritants. They will irritate this part of the skin, leading to stimulation of this touch fiber. So see what happens when you stimulate this area by whatever mechanical rubbing or counter irritant, whatever, this will lead to impulse pass from here, and they will give presynaptic inhibition and they will block. So this gate gets activated. So this is one of the mechanism of control of pain called as gate theory of pain. Now apart from this is the one mode. Degree to which a person reacts to a pain again varies tremendously. The simple difference in male female. Female give more response to pain as compared to men. Male are more tolerant. Similarly, there is a variation. So this variation results partly from a capability of brain itself to separate inputs of pain signals to the nervous system by activating a pain control system that is called as analgesic system. So it is called as pain suppression mechanism of brain. It is coming from up now. Up to now we were discussing at spinal cord level. Now there is involvement of higher centers in this. So at this brainstem region, there are different scientists have discovered different regions. Stimulation of that had initiated a pain control mechanism. Like there are raphe magnus nucleus in the brainstem and pons and medulla. At periaquetal gray, periventricular nuclei are there, encephaline nuclei are there. So this basically different periaquetal gray, periventricular area, mesencephalon, raphe nucleus, nucleus reticularis, paragiganticulus, periventricular nuclei and the hypothalamus, medial forebrain bundle. The different areas are in the brain, they get stimulated. Now see what is the mechanism. Again coming back to our spinothalamic tract, sensory nerve, this is our tract. Now if you recall, the spinoreticulator tract, while going up, they are giving stimulation here. So pain fiber, so whenever there is stimulation of pain from the skin, so while going up, what it will do? It will excite this area. So because of this now, there is stimulation of a descending pain fiber. So descending serotonergic neurons are stimulated. So whatever I have told now at this area, the different nuclei, they get activated because of the pain stimulation. Now from here fibers are arising, coming down. As they are coming down, they are called as a descending, and as they are releasing transmitter called serotonin, so they are called as serotonergic neurons. Now they will stimulate some interneurons in the spinal cord here. So again it is doing the same mechanism, that is a presynaptic inhibition only. So what happens? It will get blocked now. So similarly here you can see in the pain control mechanism, enkephalin neurons are here. Okay. So this is the pain suppression mechanism. So whatever we have discussed are so many areas are there. Still we are not very clear from where exactly it is arising. Different scientists have discovered different region, different nuclei. Ultimately what they say, there is a bunch of nuclei are present here which they get stimulated from the ascending spinothalamic tract. They stimulate serotonergic neurons which will lead to stimulation of interneurons located at the spinal cord. These are the enkephalin neurons. They will lead to presynaptic inhibition, again acting here. So they will modulate the pain receptor here. So fibers originating in this area send signals to the dorsal horn of spinal cord to secrete serotonin at their endings. The serotonin causes local cord neurons to secrete enkephalin as well. So enkephalin is believed to cause both presynaptic and postsynaptic inhibition of incoming types of C and type A delta pain fibers where they synapse in the dorsal horn. This analgesic system can block pain signals at initial entry point to the spinal cord. So this is the way the descending neuron works and they block. So it is called as a pain suppression mechanism. Apart from this, it is observed that soldiers wounded in the battle often feel no pain until the battle is over. Or sports persons who are playing a high profile match, even if they get injured, they continue to play despite their injury, they don't get a pain. Now what can be the mechanism in this? There is a release of endogenous cannabinoids may contribute to stress induced analgesia. These people are under higher stress. Soldiers, they have to survive their life. Even they get a bullet, they know I have to survive. Sportsmen playing a high profile match, they are playing for the country, so their name is double with the country. So this stress induces release of endogenous cannabinoids. So cannabinoids 1 receptor are located in many brain regions, and activation of this receptor accounts for the euphoric action of cannabinoids. Euphoria means sense of well-being. They have got elation, sense of well-being, so that elevates the pain. So cannabinoids increase the amount of dopamine available to act on dopamine 3 receptors. Nucleus accumbens to stimulate the brain reward system. So brain get rewarded. So in the reward they get euphoria, and the pain is totally suppressed. So in this is called as, because of the stress analgesia comes, so it is called as stress analgesic system. So it is blocking here. So it is called a stress analgesia because stress is the initiating factor for this analgesia. Now further to read, apart from that, this I have covered. The brain opiate system I have not covered. It is similar, but read and try to find how it works. Motivation and addiction. What is the effect of motivation and addiction? See, a marathon runner is running. He is getting a pain in the muscle, but your cheers and motivation, he is still continuing. So how the motivation works? What is the mechanism of addiction? Basis of pain relief by acupuncture. I've given a gross hint here. You can go through, try to find how the acupuncture mechanism works. What is the thalamic pain syndrome? And what is hyperalgesia and allodynia? So to summarize in the 3 lectures what we have learned, what is the pain? What are the pain receptors? Stimulation of receptors, types of pain, referred pain, and pain control mechanism, and central analgesic system. So here we are finishing the physiology of pain. I have given you gross. Go through it. Pain is basically the biggest topic. Pain is the main bread matter of a physician. A patient comes to doctor mainly for the pain. So we can do a PhD in the pain. So sky's the limit. I have given you gross idea. Go and read and try to find more in this one. So pain is a thing which makes us conscious regarding something is disturbing us. Okay. So here we are completing the physiology of pain. Thank you. Once again, stay home, stay safe, and save lives.